Did you ever notice how our actions tend to be reactive as opposed to proactive? This is often a good thing. Think about it. Good reflexes can help you avoid a car accident or jump to a friend's aid without hesitation. But when we get into trouble when we let emotions rule those reactions. For example, how do you typically respond when you read an email that implies you dropped the ball, your significant other blames you for something you feel is unfair, another driver cuts you off on the highway? If you're not careful, your reaction could make any of these situations much worse than it has to be. Go too far, and you'll do irreparable damage to your career, your relationship, and your reputation. In this video, we shall learn how to master our emotions and boost emotional intelligence instantly with this one step: the pause. But how can a pause be so instrumental in improving our emotional intelligence? Watch this video to dig deep into it. Furthermore, there is a real-life incident at the end of this video about my journey to build emotional intelligence. Don't miss it. Let us begin now. The one-step method to better EQ. Emotional intelligence includes the ability to understand and manage our emotions, using them to work for us instead of against us. Like any ability, it can be learned, trained, and honed to help produce desirable outcomes. But how to improve emotional intelligence skills? The thing is, we usually think much differently about these situations after we've been given time to reflect. So, what one action can sharpen your emotional quotient or EQ, help you develop emotional intelligence, and save you from doing something you regret? The pause. Pausing at times, even for just a few seconds, can make a major difference in how you react. Before you dismiss this as simple common sense, remember, the pause is easy in theory, difficult in practice. Even if we're generally good at managing our emotions, factors like added stress or a bad day can inhibit our ability to do so at any given time. But when you work on pausing before speaking or acting, you create a habit of thinking first. And good habits are the keys to success and personal development. The pause isn't only effective when dealing with upsetting situations. Often, we are tempted to jump on opportunities that look really good at the time, but that we haven't really thought through. It's one reason why impulse purchases have led millions into major credit card debt. But how to use the pause effectively? When faced with an upsetting situation or the need to make a major decision, you could use the pause this way. 1. Stop. Resist the urge to take action. Yell, make a passive-aggressive comment, or agree to any course of action. 2. Take a deep, long breath. 3. If possible, take a walk. At least 10 to 15 minutes is great. Longer is even better. Most of the first thoughts that come to you may be self-centered. This is both natural and completely okay, so let those thoughts come. But as soon as possible, try to focus your thinking on others. For example, if you're upset, you can ask yourself questions like, why did the person act this way? What situation or circumstances might the person be dealing with? What negative consequences will I have to deal with if I act out? This is how to build emotional intelligence. When faced with a major decision, you can ask, how will I feel about this in a week? How about a year? How about 5 years? How will the people I'm close to feel about the consequences of this decision in the near future as well as long term? Learn to control your emotions by taking the time to think things through. You'll find that your reaction is much different than it would have been. 4. Write it down. If you feel that the pause was especially beneficial in this situation, take a moment to write down your experience. Doing so allows you to reflect and helps ingrain the pause as a habit so that it comes to you more naturally in the future. If everyone made that a practice, imagine how much shorter emails could be, how much time would be saved in meetings, and how many incendiary comments on social media would be eliminated. Viewers, Mr. Smart has explained in detail what is emotional intelligence and demonstrated the practical use of pause by Steve Jobs in a separate video. You can watch it through the link in the card and description. Now the proof. Here's a confession. I didn't just write this post for you. I did it for me. This post is actually an end result of a pause I took a few days ago when I almost overreacted to a request from my wife. At the time, I felt she was being unreasonable, but that couldn't have been further from the truth. In fact, I was under a high amount of stress at the time and was also on a deadline for a major project. Thankfully, I succeeded at the pause. This time. It led to multiple benefits, including a better understanding and appreciation of my wife, her situation, and a reminder of all she's done for me lately. Some much-needed fresh air, which made me more productive for the rest of the day. This post, which is actually a summary of the notes I made after everything was said and done. So, the next time you run into a similar situation, I implore you, use the pause. Then, write it all down. Please share it with Mr. Smart if you like. He would be happy to read it. That way, we'll continue to learn from each other. Here, I need to add that Mr. Smart has made another animated video about 11 practices which are guaranteed to improve your emotional intelligence. Don't forget to watch it through the link in the card and description. Now, I have 2 questions for you. 1. What do you think pause can lead you to? Is it A, losing confidence, B, give you the time to think, C, building confidence, or D, no change at all? Question 2. How do you progress your conversations normally? A, speak fluently, B, take pause and think, C, never noticed, or D, prefer only listening? Proactively write your answers in the comments section. Dear fellows, this animation is based on the writing of Justin Berizzo, who is famous for his book EQ Applied, The Real-World Guide to Emotional Intelligence. He also helps individuals and organizations develop their emotional intelligence. Subscribe to Mr. Smart to watch more animations based on his writings and develop emotional intelligence on YouTube. Join the Smart Club through the link in the pinned comment for illustrations, PDF version, and detailed quiz for each new animation. I need to remind you that Mr. Smart is not just another YouTube channel. It is a complete learning and self-development platform. Visit our website, mrsmart.org, for more content, quizzes, and courses. Live long, smart living.